Joining us now for more on the state of the pandemic is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Fauci, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We saw President Biden getting his fourth booster shot today, something the CDC says that Americans 50 and over are now eligible for. But the CDC stopped short of saying that Americans should get them, all Americans. So for eligible Americans, how do you decide if now is the right time for that fourth shot, or when do you plan for it?
Well, as the FDA made the authorization, the emergency use authorization extension to people 50 years of age or older, I think that was a good move. I mean, obviously, the protection that you get from a third shot is a good protection. However, it wanes over time, and depending upon an individual's ability to withstand infection or severe disease if they do get infection, I believe, as a physician, that it's actually a good idea for people who are 50 years of age or older to get that fourth shot. I want to emphasize, Lindsay, though, that it's really important that we get people who have not yet gotten their third shot of an mRNA. We only have about 55 or 56% of the people who are eligible for a third shot to get it. So although it's a good move to make it eligible for people who are 50 and over, as well as obviously people who have underlying conditions that compromise their immune system, we've got two things we want to do. We want to get the people who haven't gotten the third shot yet to get it, and we want people who are 50 or older to seriously consider, if they want that extra added degree of protection, to get their fourth shot boost.
And specifically to that point, the reality is that less than 1 in 3 Americans have not gotten that first booster shot. But we've started to see states closing down mass vaccine centers and testing sites. So are you concerned at all that states might be caught flat-footed if this subvariant leads to an uptake in cases, as many are expecting it to?
Well, that's the reason why we're talking about this, that we know now, if you look globally, the BA2 is totally dominant. It crept up in the United States. It is now the dominant. It's gone between 50 and 60%, particularly as you showed on the clip, particularly in the northeast part of the country. And we expect, because it does have a transmission advantage over BA1, in other words, head-to-head, that if a person gets exposed to one versus the other, the transmissibility of BA2 is greater. The somewhat encouraging news is that we haven't seen that it causes any more severe disease than BA1, and the protection that you get from vaccine or from prior infection is as good for BA2 as it is for BA1. But clearly we want to make sure, as we follow things carefully and as we pull back on some of the masking requirements, which is fine. That's a good thing. The CDC's new metrics are showing that an overwhelming majority of the counties in the country now are within that category, that they really don't need to be having masks in an indoor setting. However, when you do that, you've got to expect that there is going to be an uptick in cases, no doubt. And that's the reason why we continue to talk about the things that we're talking about now. Vaccinating, and to begin with, getting your third shot boost if you haven't, and if you're in a certain age or risk category, to get that fourth dose. The other thing that the president mentioned in his speech today is the importance of getting continuing support from the Congress to be able to purchase the antibodies, to be able to purchase the drugs, to be able to do all the testing. We've been fortunate that we've been treated very well by the Congress and by the administration with resources. But if we don't get more soon, we're going to run out of resources that we'll need to address any uptick that we might see.
And Stephanie Ramos talked about that in her report, and I was curious, if we do run out, then what happens? Then you'd need Congress to act at that point in an emergency session?
Yeah. We would like, Lindsay, we'd love them to act now, because, you know, by the time you get the resources and get things revved back up, we don't want to lose the opportunity to contract for more doses of the vaccine, as well as to do studies to look ahead as we get to the fall and the early winter about what the best approach would be. Should it be a variant-specific boost? Should it be a boost against the ancestral strain? All of those studies are now waiting to get funded, and that's the reason why we're calling upon the Congress to move quickly to get us the resources that we need.
And a personal question here, have you gotten your second booster shot just yet?
Yeah, I'm 81 years old. Yes.
And when we talk
it's
about...
a reminder of my age, Lindsay.
Well, hopefully other people will be encouraged by you already rolling up your sleeve as well. So Moderna has said, on the other end of the spectrum, age-wise, Moderna has said that it's confident that its vaccine will be effective for children under the age of 5. Do you have any sense how soon the FDA might act on this so the parents of young children can finally get their kids some much-needed protection?
You know, Lindsay, I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of the FDA. They're looking at the data. The one thing that we should feel confident is that when they look at the data, if they make a determination that it's safe and it's effective, you can be sure that that is the case. Thus far, there doesn't appear to be any issue with regard to safety. The question is, what is the right dose and the dose regimen? And that's the data that the FDA is carefully looking at right now.
All right, I'll leave you with this hot, burning question a lot of people want to know. Talking about the mask mandate on airplanes, it's set to expire in less than 3 weeks. In a letter to President Biden, airline CEO says that it's past time to eliminate COVID-era transportation policies. Do you feel that the masking policy should continue on planes?
Well, I think we need to look at all the data together with the CDC, as well as other members of the task force, the White House task force, the HHS group, and take a look at the data regarding risk. And I think this is going to be something that is going to be very seriously considered and discussed. I don't want to get out ahead of anybody because I want to get the opportunity to discuss this in great detail with my colleagues.
Understood. Dr. Fauci, we thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.